Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Financial Juneteenth, and I wanted to talk to you about something that you may have seen in the media recently where the rapper 50 Cent, who's often known by a lot of people as the guy who really has it right when it comes to his finances, the guy who has a whole lot of money, even though he hasn't had a hit record, it seems like, in a decade, he's still able to remain relevant through using various media channels and being industrious and creative in terms of keeping his brand in the public eye. He even has a new show that a lot of people like called Power. My daughter actually likes Power more than Empire, so that means the show must be good. I don't watch either one of them, just so you know, but that's what I've heard. Now, 50 Cent was in the media because he declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And a lot of people were thinking, well, wait a minute, this dude has so much money, he's doing so well, he's always talking about how much money he's got. He's taking pictures on Instagram with stacks of money, money in his hat, money on the plate, money on his ear, like a cell phone. I mean, you're thinking he's doing good, right? He's not hurting for money, so why would he be declaring bankruptcy? Because we associate the word bankruptcy to mean that you're struggling, right? So I thought I would give some clarity on bankruptcy and kind of what I think might be happening with 50 Cent's situation. I don't know him, but I can give you some insights on bankruptcy and what it kind of means. First and foremost, you should know bankruptcy is not economic death. It's not. It doesn't mean you're going broke. It doesn't mean you have nothing. It doesn't mean you're destitute. It doesn't mean you're homeless. It doesn't mean you're just that you're just done. What it means is that you're having financial problems. You're having what we might call a liquidity problem. Liquidity means that you don't have enough cash to pay your creditors at that particular time. So, for example, somebody could own a house. Let's say you own a house that's worth $400,000, but you owe somebody $5,000. But you're having, some short-term financial problems, so you can't come up with $5,000 right away. Well, somebody might come along and say, well, since you owe me $5,000 and I need this money by Friday, I have a right in this contract to liquidate your house, to make you sell your house so you can pay me back. Well, in that case, you might file for bankruptcy protection, which will allow you to restructure your financial situation while you come up with the $5,000 without losing your house. And that's where the court intervenes, maybe a trustee intervenes to make sure that the person's still going to get some of their money, but at the same time, you're not going to have to sell your house in order to pay back $5,000. So I speculate with 50 Cent, these two major lawsuits he was hit with probably caused him to hit some short-term financial problems, some cash flow problems. Because according to Forbes, 50 Cent's worth about $155 million. Well, that's a lot more than the $5 million he's supposed to pay in this lawsuit with the girl over the sex tape. A lot more than the $17 million he was ordered to pay from another lawsuit about him allegedly stealing the design for some headphones. So you would be thinking, well, if you're worth $155 million, well, I mean, $22 million, you should be able to pay that. But not quite, not true. Most people have very little cash relative to what their total net worth is. For example, I can point to some businesses I own and literally prove to you very clearly that I'm worth a few $1 million. So technically I'm a millionaire. But if you ask me to pull up $1 million out of my bank account, that's going to be a lot harder to do. Okay, so with 50 Cent, again, I don't have as much money as 50 Cent, probably never will. But with 50 Cent, I guarantee you, $155 million in net worth, it still makes it very difficult to pay out $5 million, $17 million in a lawsuit or in a legal judgment. So maybe that was part of the reason. He may also just want to protect his assets from them getting anything. Sometimes when you declare bankruptcy, you can negotiate with your creditors and kind of say, well, look, if you don't accept this new deal where maybe I'll give you half of the money, then you might not get none of your money. So sometimes bankruptcy gives you a stronger negotiating position, and that may have been the advice he got from his lawyers. Here's another thought about 50 Cent that I think should be important, should be laid on the table, is this. I've seen a lot of pictures of 50 Cent over the years. I've seen things about him that I admire and things about him that I don't quite understand. Obviously, I admire him because he was definitely one of the most talented artists around back when he was really hot in the early 2000s. He's also shown some business acumen. He made a vitamin water deal where he walked away with between $60 and $100 million. He's shown a certain degree of business acumen, business understanding that a lot of artists don't have. What I don't like is that I feel that sometimes he dumbs himself down in order to be cool, in order to be relevant. He does things that just seem a little bit immature, a little bit silly, a little bit petty, a little bit weak, and I don't think that's not really who he is. I don't think that's who he's meant to be. So when I see him on the internet taking pictures with just plates and piles of money, my thought is, I don't get that. Because I'm thinking, brother, black people are struggling. There are millions of black people out here who can't get jobs, who are homeless, who can't feed their children? Why in the hell are you and Floyd Mayweather and other people taking pictures with stacks of money on the bed? What is your message? Are you saying this is what we have, this is what we're going to waste while your children starve to death? I mean, that's tacky as hell. You know, why not brag about how many millions of dollars you invested to create 5,000 jobs on the south side of Chicago so kids ain't out killing each other? How about you brag about the fact that you took $5 million and built a school that's going to educate thousands of black children, because that school's going to be around long after you're gone? Brag about that. Don't brag about how much money you're throwing away or giving back to the white man or spending on these European brands that don't even hire black people. Don't brag about spending $5 million on a car, because that only makes you look dumb. So the fact is, when it comes to money, we got to rethink how we look at money and how we look at entertainers and how we evaluate the decisions that people make when it comes to money. That whole idea of taking a couple of million and throwing it up at the mall or throwing it up at the club, that needs to be killed. That needs to be squashed. That is economic genocide for black people. It's crazy. Last thing I'll throw in here is this. With a guy like 50 Cent, when you have that much wealth, when you have that much money, you become a target. You become a target of every person that wants to get a piece of that money. And if you're foolish, if you're undisciplined, if you're not intelligent or whatever, then that opens the door for those people to exploit you, to get a piece of you. That's why you have a lot of athletes that will go into the NBA, make $100 million, but not know how to read. Well, guess what? These Harvard lawyers and agents and business managers, they're putting contracts in front of them and saying, here, just sign this, just sign this. And they don't know that these people are literally raping them financially, because they're not paying attention to the fine print, or because they're undisciplined, or because they're so focused on doing what they do, playing, balling or rapping or singing or whatever, that they're not paying attention to what people are doing in the background with their money. Now, 50 Cent's not in that category. He's clearly as smart as anybody who might teach at a business school, so he understands a few things. But one area where 50 Cent seems to struggle a little bit is he gets caught up in petty situations. Why are you releasing a sex tape of Rick Ross's baby mama anyway? I mean, that's what you got sued for. Why would you do that? If you're worth over $150 million, you don't do that because you get sued for that type of stuff. Your lawyers should be telling you that. Maybe they did. Maybe he's not listening. I don't know. But I remember my father told me something a long time ago that I always held on to. He said, look, if you are a man who has a lot to lose, you don't need to be hanging around people that have nothing to lose, because they will take everything you got, because they ain't got nothing to lose, right? So you're worth over $100 million. You get in these petty situations with people who will sue you at the drop of a dime. They'll sue you for punching. Paparazzi will sue you for punching him. People are going to pick fights with you in the club just so you can hit them back so they can sue you. The thing with Rick Ross's baby mama and the sex tape, I mean, you know, that's an opportunity for her to get money. That $5 million will last her for the rest of her life. So you just want to be careful about getting involved in those kinds of situations. And unfortunately, it does signal to me a little bit that even though 50 Cent's an intelligent man, a talented man, a great businessman, and a grown-ass man, he's to some extent partially an immature man. And sometimes hip-hop, unfortunately, has done that to a lot of black men, has made us into children. When you're 40 years old, you shouldn't be doing the same stuff teenagers do on Instagram. That's not a good look, homie. That's not a good look. So that's all I'm going to say about 50 Cent. I wish the brother the best. I hold no ill will toward him. My goal and my hope is that he continues to channel his intelligence in a productive and positive way. He keeps giving back to his community on a higher scale, and he learns a lesson from this. I'm sure he has, because believe me, even though bankruptcy is not economic death, it is an economic lesson. It is not a picnic, and it's very, very difficult to come back from this. And I think his reputation will also be severely damaged as well, because people do see this as a sign of financial weakness. But that's all I really want to say. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Financial Juneteenth. And by the way, our Black Wealth Bootcamp starts very, very soon. You can sign up at theblackwwealthbootcamp.com. That's theblackwwealthbootcamp.com. Until we meet again, stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. I am gone. Peace.